South Africa's President Thabo Mbeki said in his State of the Nation speech that it is every person's constitutional right to have access to a minimum supply of 200 litres of water a day, for free. In principle, this statement is right and fitting, but in practice, South African municipalities are facing considerable challenges in fulfilling this promise. It's not just the cost and manpower needed to reticulate this minimum free bulk water service to every possible household. It's also having to ensure that those people who can't afford to pay for water don't exceed the 200 litres a day. How do South African municipalities control the bulk supply of water in the most cost-effective way possible, while at the same time ensuring that people consume what they're entitled to? Here's the answer. The 2007 watertight smart flow valve and tank system. Now let's see how the smart flow watertight system actually operates. The mechanical watertight valve determines the amount of water coming from the main municipal feed into a home. In the case of South Africa's indigent population, who cannot pay for water and are therefore entitled to 200 litres a day for free, the valve is turned to restricted flow. The water is then fed into the watertight tank, which stores the 200 litres fed into it every 24 hours. It should be remembered that the credentials of the Smart Flow watertight system has already been established. After all, since its introduction into the South African market as the brass trickle flow valve system in 1999, it's been snapped up by 85 local councils and proved to be a highly cost-effective way to control the supply of water to households. The changes from the brass to the plastic are very important. Firstly, it costs the municipality a lot less money. Secondly, it's robust. Thirdly, this plastic has no street value. As we have seen, the second innovation is the watertight tank, which collects and stores the 200 litres of water that the Smart Flow valve releases to each household every day. Now, what's also important about it is that this tank is also, like the valve, tamper-proof. It's got 6 government VO seals on the top, so nobody can tamper with this tank. It's secure. Right, the big question is, what does this tank allow an average family to do? It provides a flow of 200 litres of water every 24 hours, allowing an average family of 4 about. Drinking and cooking, 10 litres. 2 dishwashers, 23 litres. 5 body washers, 30 litres. 8 flushers, 64 litres. 1 clothes wash, 30 litres. 2 kettles, 3 litres, with surplus water left over. But let's hear from Mrs. Virginia Fani, how she feels about the Smart Flow system, which she has just had installed.
Asetankini noba amanzi akekho avaliwe noba amanzi akekho avaliwe ndiyakhona ukuthi ndifumane amanzi etankini ndikhona usebenzisa itoilet ndikhona uhlamba ngayo ndikhona nokolmaka ikitchen lam ukuba xa ngekho amanzi funeka ndihambe ndithathe ibhakethi ndiyokha amanzi kude ndiyofuna amanzi ndibuye ndizofaka apha khona ngelidanki ndisave amanzi kakhulu khona ndiyayazi indlela yokonga amanzi ukuthi injani.
In summary then, Mrs. Fani says that the watertight system has changed her life. She has water all the time and she's learned to save water. One of the biggest problems also that municipalities in South Africa are facing are those people who can afford to pay for water. In other words, people who are entitled to more than 200 litres a day or 6 kilolitres a month. But what happens when those people who can afford to pay for water don't pay their bills? They can't come along here and simply, for example, cut off the water from this respectable home in Mohlakeng in Randfontein, because this person's constitutional right is to have at least 200 litres of water a day. So, the watertight valve offers the municipalities a wonderful solution. As we have seen in the previous diagram, for those people who can afford to pay for water but don't, you turn it to restricted flow until such time that they pay their bills. It's all very well having spoken to the manufacturers of the system, but what do the experts think of this management tool? Former Free State Municipal Manager Mr. Bennett Malotsi has nothing but praise for the watertight system.
It has been accepted by well over 83 municipalities throughout our country, and that in itself shows you the kind of quality and research that has been put together in conjunction with the tank that has been recently introduced. That in itself also assists our communities. You know, people have been crying out loud where water is being cut down. But in the case of the valve, it sort of teaches our people to use water very sparingly, to conserve water, which is the prime mission and the prime objective of government as well. And then this valve, when it came into existence, that was the best mechanical tools that one could ever think of. It is mechanical in its nature. It allows people to have enough water on demand.
With the watertight valve, very impressed. Very innovative. They used to have the brass one. They've now started producing it in plastic. The nice thing about this valve, nobody can basically tamper with it. You need a special key to actually open this valve, which is a big plus. And I feel it's a good product.
South African municipalities have a critical role to play in managing and rolling out democratic government to the people in South Africa. And our new young decision makers have an excellent opportunity here to make the right choice in supplying water responsibly to our people. And at the same time, saving themselves considerable sums of money.
Finally, a solution has been found to the many disappointments that have been associated with other products that have been brought on the market. The watertight management system, represented by the smart flow valve and the tank, have three core characteristics: reliability, cost effectiveness, and manageability.
The Smart Flow watertight system meets the South African government's free basic water policy, has been approved by the South African government, and has been tested and used by Ulster Kent, one of the largest metering companies in the world. It's being used by 85 local councils in South Africa. Comprises a new water tank for household storage, giving water on demand. Comprises a 3-in-1 smart flow watertight valve that opens, closes and restricts the flow of water. The smart flow watertight system has been intentionally manufactured as a strictly mechanical valve, ensuring the least maintenance costs possible. Has a unique tamper-proof locking system. Has a secondary VO seal. Can be used at ground level. Fits into standard applications like a glove.
Watertight pretty much is what it says it is. Watertight.
The Smart Flow watertight system is a patented product.